What's up guys, welcome back. Today is Valentine's Day, so we have something special for you. Now when it comes to love and relationship, what is the most important thing? Wrong, it's money! Okay, no, I say one. It's research say one. Most of the couple argue because of money.
I cuma tanya, you ada duit tak? I cuma tanya, you ada duit tak?
So, we decided to ask on our social media, what are some of the most crazy stories about money and relationship that you've heard before or maybe you yourself have gone through? And for those of you who have sent in your stories, thank you very much. So today we'll be sharing with you those crazy stories and I'll be sharing my thoughts on it as well. Actually, I also haven't read the stories yet because my team are the one compiling it. So today is also my first time reading it together with you. I got married to my husband as soon as I graduated from SPM and he has been giving me an allowance ever since. Oh, 17 years old already get married, huh? Before I had children, 1,000 was barely enough to pay for household bills and maintenance, groceries and personal expenditure. But even after I got 2 kids, my husband didn't increase my allowance. So now I have to pay for children's expenditure. With that, 1,000 ringgit. I've talked to my husband about it, but he gets angry every time. I don't know what to do. Now, definitely 1,000 ringgit is really difficult. Now, me myself, I have 2 kids. I understand that 1,000 ringgit, it's really not easy. Now, if you want to make do with 1,000 ringgit, you can, but it's really, really tough. Talking about money with your partner is always a very difficult subject. I still remember the first time I talked about money with my wife. It was difficult as well. There were moments that we get into fights. Not so much because the subject of money itself, but mostly it's very emotional. I guess sometimes as a man, we tend to feel that our self-worth is very tied to our ability to provide. And when our partner tells us that money is not enough, we tend to see it as we are not good enough. So if you're in this situation and you need to talk to your husband about this, I think the first thing is to assure him that it is really not about him not being good enough as a man to provide, but rather try to talk about it in a very more objective manner that is really just purely numbers driven, and constantly assure that person that you respect him for being able to lead the family or provide the family regardless of whether is it enough or not. I think that would at least help with the conversation. My boyfriend of 2 years doesn't really know how to handle his money. He's 27 years old, does not have a stable job and isn't putting effort into finding a better job. He's still dependent on his parents to give him money even though they are old and retired. During MCO, he would always guilt trip me to order for him food, saying that why don't you order me food? Don't you love me? Which I think is unfair. It's not like he doesn't have the money because he's been buying expensive clothes and shoes for himself. So why can't he buy himself food? But nowadays, I realize many guys tak boleh pakai. Even when we interview people, so it tends to be girls are the ones that are more mature. Hey guys, can you be more malukan kan? Now, one more thing is, you're 27 years old, you're working. Why the hell are you still depending on your parents to give you money when they're already old and retired? Don't even talk about being a good boyfriend. He's not even a good son if that's the case. Yikes. You know what they say? You want to know how your husband is going to treat you? See how he treats his parents. You know when he say that you never order food for him, he probably tell his mother the same thing. It's worse when this guy buy all these designer clothes and shoe, expensive stuff, and then trying to look good for himself but can't even afford food. So do you think he's going to put food on the table for you in future? Are you sure you want a boyfriend like that? My friend is currently seeing this guy and he's not the most financially stable person. He does freelance and earn money every now and then, whereas my friend earns 7,000 ringgit a month. Wow. They go out every night for drinks and she always pay. I told her multiple times that he's treating her more like a sugar mommy than a girlfriend, but she ignores my advice. It has gotten so bad to the point where she lied to a sibling and asked them for 4,000 ringgit, saying that I needed money for rent. I was not aware for this. I'm so angry at her because I only want the best for her. What else can I do? Well, it does sound like a sugar mommy relationship. Just kidding, she say one, not I say one. You know what they always say, love is blind? I've gone through situations where I've seen some of my friends being in a relationship and they just can't seem to see reality. Oftentimes we see that if we try to reach out and try to correct them or tell them what needs to to be done, try to point them to the truth. They would rather withdraw from that friendship and cover into what they want to believe. And it's really difficult for us as friends to see that happening. Now, for you as a friend, I think the best thing is just to keep quiet, not say anything, but constantly listen to your friend. I know it's difficult to listen because you want to give comment like,
what the hell, this kind of guy, you know?
But you just have to try to just keep quiet, because it's worse if the person just cut you off from the friendship and choose not to tell you. And what you need to do is wait until one day when time is right. Then only you speak up what you observe. If you constantly bug your friend about it, your friend will just see you as someone who's not supporting a decision. But if you only speak up when the time is right, it is more likely that you'll be able to get a more positive result or response from a friend. Now, on the other hand, being a man myself, I personally have seen people who is not earning as well as their partner. I think it is okay if you're not earning as well as your partner, but it's more important that you become independent. I think it's okay, like even if your wife earns more than you or partner earns more than you, but you shouldn't be always asking the person to belanja you, you know. You should display some sort of character that you're trying to do better, because all the other person wants sometimes is that initiative to see that you want to do better. Chinese have a saying called sandals rise. I've seen people suffer through this kind of situation, and I definitely don't think it's worth it. Now, if you yourself are watching this, whether you're this person or someone else, I think it's more important that you wake up from it, talk to your partner about it, about what you really think about their financial situation. If your partner is already not earning much money and still demand to live a very luxurious life, I think that person, you may need to think twice. If I myself is in that situation and I'm not doing very well financially, I would learn to cut down my expenses. I would even tell my partner that, look, all we can afford right now is just mama. Yes, I know you can afford a better coffee, you know, or whatnot, but it's just not in my range of affordability right now. And as time passes, the person should be able to do better. Now, if over a long period of time, the person still remains the same and you expect that person will one day change, I want to tell you that people actually don't change. There's a saying that goes like this. For a woman, when she goes into a relationship, they will tend to go into a relationship and expect the partner to become better and better. But when a man goes into a relationship, they expect the relationship to stay the same. Alright, after reading all these are my thoughts. When you go into a relationship, have your eyes open. Always remember, how the person handle money and handle relationship with family will tend to be reflected in their relationship as well. If you think the person doesn't know how to spend money properly, it should be something that you notice in the early of the relationship, not after a few years later. And if after a few years later you expect the person to change the way that he deals with money, habits are hard to die. Now, it's said that money is the main reason that couples argue and divorce. So, money is really, really very important. I think one of the things that you need to remember when you go into a relationship is to be really honest to talk about the issue of money. I know it's really not easy, especially in the early of the relationship. Sometimes you may feel that you're not ready to talk about money yet because you are not that close yet, not thinking about getting married. But I can tell you, if you're really thinking about settling down, only you start talking about money, it's probably too late to talk about money by then. Like asking the person what is his plan for the next 5 years in terms of job, in terms of what kind of school you want to send your children to go to, or like what kind of lifestyle do you want to live, you know, in the next 3 years to 4 years, and how much do you think you need to spend if you want to live that kind of lifestyle. You know, asking this kind of specific question won't be too intrusive, but also gives you an idea about how a person really thinks about money. One more thing, when couples approach the topic to talk about money, it is very important to take care of each other's feeling. Now remember, assure them that you are in this together, that they are not there to work out the money problem themselves, and you're not going to look down at them and you're going to walk through that journey with them. All I want to say is this: at the moment you go into a relationship, talk about money in the early stages of a relationship. Be open about it and be honest about it. Slowly ease that conversation in. Don't wait until the end only talk about it, because it's too late to talk about money when you are planning to settle down.